Research shows that out of 5 people who start going to the gym, only one of them will stick with it. And I work at the MMA gym, so that sounds about right, but it honestly might be even less. And it's not because they're lazy or anything, it's just never became a habit for them. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not the act, but a habit." And I'm just gonna be honest, you're not gonna achieve your martial arts goals or your fitness goals or your athletic goals if you don't make things like working out and eating the right foods a habit. So James Clear defines a habit as a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic, making it a building block of a larger system. This just means decisions your brain makes without even thinking, just so it could save energy. An example of a bad habit that I think everyone has is checking your phone first thing in the morning. You never really wake up and consciously think, let me see what's going on in the world, let me check my phone. You kind of just wake up and reach for your phone automatically and start scrolling or start going on whatever. But for me, working out has just become a habit. Probably for about more than 5 years now. Every day, I know for a fact I'm just gonna find some time to work out, even if it's just some active recovery. But for a lot of other people, like some of my friends, I'll ask them, "Are you gonna work out today? Or are you gonna lift today?" And they'll say things like, "I'll try to, I don't know if I have time though." Or, "Yeah, I probably will, I don't know yet though." Or, "I might, but yeah, I'm not really sure." Just basically every time they decide to work out, it's a conscious decision they make. And that makes it really hard for them to stay consistent with their training. So there's many different strategies to form habits. There's actually 4 main laws James Clear talks about in his book Atomic Habits. They've been so useful to me. I actually have it on my wall right here. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. And if you want to get rid of any habit, you make it invisible, you make it unattractive, you make it hard, and you make it unsatisfying. And in each of those 4 things, there's many different things you could do to make it like that. And I might do another video on this, but today I just want to share one that really helps for me with forming habits or getting rid of bad habits. And that falls into the category of making it easy. And that's just to start small. So like I said, I work at the MMA gym, and when people walk in on the first day, they'll say crazy things or set really big goals like they want to lose 50 pounds or they want to become a pro fighter, which are good goals and they're actually very realistic if they work hard enough. But a lot of the times when you set like a crazy big goal without like a specific strategy in place, your brain kind of just says, this is too big and just ends up forgetting about it. So instead, what would be better is instead of setting that crazy big goal, because honestly, I get kind of sad because one time there's this guy who walked in and he went on this crazy big speech about how he wants to improve his life for his daughter and lose fat so he's healthier. It was actually really powerful stuff. I went home and told my friends about it, like, damn, there's this guy who motivated the fuck out of me. But I actually never saw him again. I hope it's because he ended up going to a different gym, but the thing is he actually bought a membership and then just never came back, so it might be a little bit unlikely. Maybe he had a health issue, or I don't know. Like, it's just hard saying stuff like that. And also, like I said, the other big goal I hear all the time is becoming a pro fighter. And there's this kid who walked in who actually had some really good potential. Like, I remember holding pads for him and it felt like a shotgun, and he was actually smaller than me. So, yeah, that was really impressive. But also, I never ended up seeing him again. So, instead of making like a crazy big goal right from day one, I think it would be better just to start with something small, like saying, I'm gonna work out 2 times this week, or I'm gonna come to the gym 2 times. And if they want to do more, that's great. But if not, it's completely all good. And maybe a couple weeks after, they could bump that up to 3, then maybe 4. And then if they are serious about becoming a pro fighter, they could say, okay, I'm going to come to the gym 5 days a week, and then 3 of those days I'm going to come in 2 times a day. Because if you just start out with saying you're going to train 5 times a week and, some days do double days, you're probably just going to burn yourself out. Not only because it's just hard to make a 180 on a lifestyle change right away, but also your body just won't be used to it and will probably end up burning out. This kind of reminds me of a quote I heard Floyd Mayweather talk about one time when he was talking about the pressures of being a boxer, and he just said his strategy is just taking it one day at a time. And this is basically just the overall strategy for everything. Like whenever you have a big task to accomplish, they always say to break it up into smaller pieces. So yeah, if you have a habit you want to get rid of or you have a habit you want to start, I just recommend starting small. Like there's a habit that a lot of people my age do. It's a thing that people sometimes do right before bed, and it's a thing that Andrew Huberman says not to do. And it's a habit that kind of ruins your confidence when it comes to talking to girls later on. So yeah, let's say if you're doing that 7 times a week before bed, it would be nice to be like, fuck this, I'm never doing this again. But that's just kind of unrealistic. So instead, a better strategy would be okay, instead of 7 days a week, let's do it 6 days a week, and that would be a win for me. And then 5 days a week, 4 days a week, three, two, and then maybe it could be 2 times a month, 1 time a month, 1 time every 3 months, until you're basically not doing it at all. That's why the book James Clear wrote about making habits is called Atomic Habits, because it's just little changes at a time. Now I'm just going to talk about 3 habits I've seen from my own experiences that I think have ruined a lot of people's martial arts goals or fitness goals or athletic goals. First thing is smoking weed. One is because this ruins your sleep. Yes, it does put you to sleep faster and make you lose consciousness. But Andrew Huberman explains it blocks your REM sleep, which is when your body's doing the most recovering. And I played football in junior college, and I've seen a lot of talented athletes, but because they would come to practice high, they just wouldn't be as locked in. And I feel like if they came to practice sober and just more focused on the practice, they could have went a lot further in their football careers. And this isn't just with football players, but I have a lot of friends I feel like could be more successful than they already are, but it's just because they're smoking weed every day. It makes them a little bit more unmotivated or less focused on certain tasks. And of course, there's a lot of successful people that do smoke weed. Many UFC fighters smoke weed consistently. But the question is, would they be better if they weren't smoking weed? And of course, there's something going around where they say smoking weeds helps prevent CTE, but I'm not sure if that's true. The same thing with preventing cancer, but I don't know, I feel like there's more effective things you could do. I'll have to do more research about it though. The next thing is Netflix. This used to be a really big problem for me. And the reason I just don't think this is a very good habit when it comes to achieving your goals regarding fitness, martial arts, and all of that is because it's just kind of a big waste of time. Like if you watch an hour of Netflix a day, that's 7 hours a week you could have been doing something like learning how to cook so you can make meals better, or practicing certain martial arts moves, or doing a little bit of extra working out. Like, yeah, it always baffles me when people say they don't have enough time to do certain things, but they watch like 2 hours of TV every day. But yeah, that's just me. Now, the last bad habit that I wanted to mention, which is definitely the worst out of all three, is vaping. Tons of people my age do this, which baffles me because it's like, damn, did you not see all the ads which talk about how smoking causes cancer and all of that? And yeah, it's not just vaping, but if you don't know, smoking is back in style. Like, according to my friends that are in fraternities, a lot of people there started smoking again, like the actual cigarettes, not just the vapes anymore. And yeah, even a few of my friends started smoking cigarettes again, which is just crazy to me, but yeah, it's whatever. And I have seen there are a few NFL players who vape. And when I was playing junior college, some of the best players who ended up going Division 1 would vape too. But I don't think there's any pro boxers who vape. Because in football, you get an average of a 40-second break between each play. But in boxing, it's just straight 3 minutes of cardio. Same thing with MMA, same thing with Muay Thai, same thing with Jiu Jitsu. But there's a guy at the MMA gym I used to work at, and he was an amateur boxer and he had a fight. And it was very close, but he ended up losing. And he was someone who vaped, so a thought I always had is like, bro, if he didn't vape, I think it was a guarantee he would have won at least that fight. But yeah, vaping, it just doesn't make sense to me. And it frustrates me that people I care about vape or smoke. But I understand, like the topic of this video, it's become a habit. So taking care of your habits and being able to change them is very important in regards to achieving your goals. And things like martial arts and fitness and working out are all just tools into becoming a better person. Because if you think that getting buff or just getting better at fighting is going to fulfill you, that's just not going to happen. So one question I was told to ask myself was that, is your daily habits helping you become the person you want to become? And it's even something I'm probably going to revisit today just to check in with myself. Just asking myself, is my daily habits helping me become the person I want to become? And if they are for you, that's great. Like, you should just keep doing what you're doing and eventually your goals will be achieved. And I'm here to help make your habits even more effective with things like giving you workout tips to make them more effective, or giving you nutrition tips to help you eat foods that will help fuel your goals. So if they are great, just keep doing what you're doing. And if they're not, that's all good too. No one's born perfect. But I recommend starting today, even if it's super small. Like instead of doom scrolling right before bed, maybe pick up the book on your nightstand that you've been meaning to read and read that so you get better sleep. Or even just 50 push ups. Since the pump you get from 50 push ups is very underrated, and it's very close to the pump you'll get if you do a full chest workout. And yeah, I do highly recommend reading the book Atomic Habits. That was just a great book on how to set habits and get rid of bad habits. And with this channel, my goal is to help athletes and martial artists with their goals. So subscribe if it sounds like this channel would help you. And here's a video you might find helpful. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.